All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for attending our More Than Pink Walk kickoff. First up, I wanted to introduce our KOMEN staff in the Carolinas. So I'm Marissa, as you can see. I'm a development manager and have been with Susan G. Komen for 4 years. You'll also see we have Erika Bowles, who you'll actually hear from a little bit later tonight. She's our development director in North and South Carolina. Amy Charney, who is running the slideshow tonight, is a breast cancer survivor and is our development specialist, so she oversees all of our communications. And then we have Kelly Hendricks, who is also a development manager. So this is your team here in the Carolinas. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out to any one of us and we are more than happy to help. So with that, I will be leading the first section of tonight's program. Wanted to just give you an overview of what we'll be talking about. We'll be going over what KOMEN's mission is, where our funding goes, and how we're fighting breast cancer, and how we do so through our More Than Pink Walk signature programs. We'll hear a mission moment from a longtime team captain and breast cancer survivor, Wendy Anderson, and then we will lead into how you can fundraise and make an impact toward our mission of ending breast cancer and how you can get connected with your fellow walkers. If you have any questions throughout the evening, you can post them in the chat, which should be popped up from some earlier statements in there, and we will get to them as they come in. So thanks again, and here we go. All right, so Susan G. Komen's mission has not changed. Our mission is to save lives by meeting the most critical needs in our communities and investing in breakthrough research to prevent and cure breast cancer. Our mission is more urgent than ever due to the pandemic. We know that women and men have skipped their annual screenings due to doctor's offices being closed or folks not feeling safe being in public. And so we know that there are going to be later stage breast cancers diagnosed when folks do go back for their screening. So consider this your reminder. If you haven't been back to the doctor, get your mammogram. It is so important to maintain your annual screening, staying on top of your health overall, and also to know that if you notice anything different in your health at any point, to contact your doctor. Don't skip your screenings, please. We also know that there are folks throughout the state that are experiencing financial hardship due to loss of job or other hardships brought on by the pandemic. And so KOMEN's work is vital, it's critical, it's important, and it's urgent. And so we're thrilled to be raising money to help those that are impacted all the more by COVID. Which leads me to the pillars of our organization. So where does our funding go that's raised at the walk or a community fundraiser, a golf tournament, etc.? These are our 4 pillars that outline our funding strategies. So the first, as you can see, is research. Our #1 target is to understand and prevent metastatic breast cancer, which is stage 4. It's when cancer has moved outside of the breast to other parts of the body. Currently that is not curable. And so we are pouring lots of money into research. In fact, there were 30 new research grants that were funded this past June. KOMEN invested $14 million in new research funding, and one of the main priorities is on metastatic breast cancer. So we are tackling this. We also have a collaborative research initiative in North Carolina between Duke and UNC that will have the first grants awarded this October. So we are very committed to fighting stage 4. As well as triple negative breast cancer and other aggressive forms, and for keeping folks in clinical trials, which leads me to our care pillar. If you call the helpline and have questions on clinical trials, we actually have an entire branch of the helpline that's designated toward clinical trial information and getting that to you for trials in your area that you may be eligible for. Anyone can call the helpline at any time. There are trained patient navigators and coordinators on the line to help with a variety of questions to answer, whether that's your breast health questions, whether that is treatment assistance and financial stipends. We have funding for that, as well as just general information and ways to get involved. So definitely encourage anyone that has questions to call the helpline at any time. We also have patient navigation services available for folks to make sure they stay in the continuum of care. The next pillar is community, and that's why you're here. So our More Than Pink Walk is a perfect example of the community pillar. It gives our patients and survivors the feeling that they're not alone, a place to connect with others, an opportunity for folks to volunteer in the community, and ways for companies to activate and celebrate their employees through volunteer opportunities. So we're glad to be with our community tonight, and when it's safe to do so, be back in person with all of you. And lastly, we have Action, which is our public policy and advocacy branch. We are currently supporting 5 acts, as well as the Breast Cancer Bill of Rights and federal funding to continue breast cancer services. We will drop in the chat in a little bit our Advocacy Insider website so that you can actually sign up for updates and alerts on what's happening in your area in the realm of public policy. So those are our pillars, and it leads to our impact. So Susan G. Komen is the largest funder of breast cancer research aside from the US government. And we raise funds through our events like the More Than Pink Walk. So thank you again for being here. As you can see on the slide, we funded more than $800 million in research and $1.6 billion in funding to screening, education, and treatment. So what we do is so important. In fact, it has also decreased the breast cancer mortality rate by 40% over the past 40 years. So we are so proud of our efforts and for all of your support, but we still have work to do. And with that, I will share our video for what we have in store this year and how you can raise funds to support our mission.
Okay, you're quoting?
Yes.
I walk for my wife.
For all of my patients.
I walk for my mom.
I walk for myself.
I walk so no other funders have to go through what my family went through.
What if we all did a little bit more?
If we could raise one more dollar.
Take one more step.
Share one more story.
Imagine the impact we could make.
Towards ending breast cancer.
That's the power of one.
The power of one starts with you.
Power of one more action.
The power every one of us has.
When we come together
As one community.
That's the difference.
And getting closer to a world without
Breast cancer.
The day before my double mastectomy, we participated in our first KOMEN walk. This will be my 9th walk.
I have been walking for 21 years.
I've walked 21 years.
So no matter how you make your impact,
Let's make this year count.
It's about every one of us.
Understanding the impact that we can
When
have.
we go $1.
One story.
and step further.
Join us and witness the power of one.
So if that didn't get you inspired, I don't know what will. We will have opportunities throughout the coming months just to honor and recognize your one while you're involved, but first you have to get involved. So our walks are a hybrid experience this fall on Saturday, October 2nd. We have a combined fundraising goal between the Low Country and Mountains to Midlands walks to raise $100,000. And as you saw on the previous slide, that'll fund research, it'll fund treatment assistance and financial stipends, as well as our advocacy efforts and support for patients. So we absolutely would love your support this year through these 2 signature events. And these allow us to continue our work. So registration is open now. If I know there's some folks on the call that are already registered. There's some folks here trying to figure out what the event is before they sign up. So it's open. You can register up through October 2nd. And we encourage you to start a team, invite your network, and it's free to sign up. So what are you waiting for? You might be waiting to see what the activation opportunities are. So I will tell you. We are doing a Power of One week, which will start on Monday, the week before the event, and culminate in Walk Day on Saturday. So Monday is our mission impact, and we will be sharing videos throughout the day about each of the 4 pillars and how we are activating them in the Carolinas. So you'll hear from someone that works at the Helpline, someone that works with treatment assistants, or research programs, and patient navigation. So we're excited to share with you our local staff that is working toward these pillar concepts. On Tuesday, we encourage you to recognize your one, who you walk for, who you fundraise for, even if it's you, on our virtual wall. And it'll really lean into that community pillar where we see and draw inspiration from each other and who we're walking for. So we look forward to that. On Wednesday, we have an exciting virtual community kitchen planned that will unite all of us, and you can actually make a post-walk treat for Saturday. So have it all prepped and ready to go for your, whether it's a tailgate, whether you have a breakfast, we'll have some treats that you can pull together along with your fellow walkers in a virtual space to have ready on Saturday. Thursday, we will be doing community workouts. You know, we encourage a healthy lifestyle and making sure that you are getting your fitness in. So we'll have some community opportunities to get out and get active together. through some donation-based classes in your community, so stay tuned for details around those. And Friday is for fun. We want you to chalk your walk, post your photos in our Facebook group, which we will share the link to in a moment, and also plan out what you're going to do the next day. We'll have some teasers on our pink pathways in a little bit. But we encourage you to not only chalk to get excited, but also to get your neighbors wondering, oh, what are they decorating their sidewalks or their driveways for? Can I get involved too? And definitely send us your photos, because I've seen some amazing chalk art in the last few months. So encourage you to do that. I definitely also recommend joining our Facebook group if you haven't already. Not only will you see some fabulous chalk photos, but you'll be reminded of all of these activities coming up. Some of them will be live streamed in the group, as well as on our YouTube page if you're not on Facebook, but the group is the best way to stay connected. And so I mentioned that you can walk in your neighborhoods, you can walk at our pink paths, and to give us a picture of what she did with her team last year, we will have Wendy Anderson, a longtime volunteer and breast cancer survivor, share how she activated Coach Wendy's troops for last year's virtual event. So I invite Wendy to join me on the screen and share her experience walking where she was last year.
Hi, everyone. I'm Wendy Anderson, and to tell you a little bit about my story, most breast cancer survivors, and I apologize for the storm, it's storming. I live on Daniel Island and it's storming pretty bad here. But to tell you a little bit about my story, and as you guys know, most of us as breast cancer survivors have a story, and we have a unique story. I was a Division I college coach when I was diagnosed, and I was also training for USA Team handball at the time. And of course, you know, being an athlete, you think you're invincible. And so when I was diagnosed, I was shocked, surprised, and thought, like, how could that happen to me? Because I know what I put in my body. I know the kind of exercising I do. And so it's still hard to this day. But after that first initial shock, I finally decided to say, you know, what am I going to do? How can I help other people that are going through this, that may be younger, maybe older, maybe know what's going in their bodies and question some things. And so I got with KOMEN probably 18 years. I'm entering my 17th year as a survivor. So I actually was volunteering with KOMEN before that. And so I started speaking to college student athletes. And then KOMEN continued to invite me to speaking engagements to speak with other groups of adults, ethnic groups, and just anyone in general that would listen to our story and what we were about. And so that is how I got started. And I will continue to work hard for this fight to raise money to help anyone at Susan G. Komen. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is my fundraising. So I always have a team that I put together. And when it became a virtual walk, I decided, like, what can I do? What can I do to make it seem more like a real walk? So I ended up going to the balloon shop and having balloons made for arches and for like a finish line. And I did it in my neighborhood. So I had a map created and designed so people would know the route in which you would walk. I had a couple people that ran. And then I had the table set up where you have like your bananas and your waters and your granola bars for people when they came. And then I also had a table for little knickknacks like necklaces, bracelets, t-shirts, anything, like, you know how when you go and they have vendors and you can get that, so people could have that. And so we walked the neighborhood and we marked it out. It was a 5K. So we walked through the neighborhood and we all finished back up, and we started at my home, which is, you know, in the pictures, and we finished at my home. And some of my neighbors came out and said, oh, I wish we would have known, we would have joined you. And so they are going to be joining us this year, and we're going to do the same thing again this year with that. And it was a lot of fun. So Any questions you have for me, I am more than willing to answer, but it was one of those things that I truly enjoyed. And I enjoy this time because you get to be around people that know what you've gone through or understand, because they may know someone or have known someone that has gone through it. And it's such a time for you to be more connected with someone that knows more about breast cancer.
Thanks, Wendy, for sharing your story. If you have questions for Wendy, you can put them in our Q&A box, and we'll circle back with her at the end to get some answers. So I'm Erika Bowles. I am the Development Director for North and South Carolina, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys this evening, and I'm even more excited for this year's More Than Pink Walk. So we're not quite ready yet for everyone to be back in a large group, as you guys can guess, but we do want to provide you with an opportunity to get together for those of you that are eager to meet up with fellow breast cancer survivors, with MBC thrivers, with caregivers and supporters. And so when we're looking at this year's Walk Day and Pink Pathways, I want to tell you a little bit about what to expect. So on Saturday, October the 2nd, we will have our opening ceremony at 10 a.m. and you can stream that digitally on our Facebook group as well as on our YouTube page. And we encourage you guys to watch that wherever you are. But then we would love for you, if you are comfortable, to go and join at one of our Pink Pathways. So these Pink Pathways are meetup locations on Walk Day where registered teams and individuals can share where they are going to walk where they are. So similar to Wendy's fun day that she put together for her friends and family, this will be options for small group gatherings taking place in public parks, on trails, in neighborhoods, on greenways. And we're looking to you guys to consider becoming a Pink Pathway captain. So if you decide that this sounds like something you would like to do, because like Wendy, you might be a stellar get-together planner, you can email Marissa. Her email's on the screen there. But what you're going to get is a goodie box in the mail that's going to have all kinds of stuff for you. So it's going to have signage, balloons, cheer supplies. So some good stuff to make your Pink Pathway exciting. So you'll see right now on your screen, you have a quick poll. We'd love to hear if you're interested in getting involved in Pink Pathways and how you're interested in doing that. So taking just a second here, let's see what people are thinking. I'm not sure actually if we share the results or not, if they pop up. So we can go to the next slide. So if you guys are ready for this year's race, and it looks like we have a lot of people who are interested in hosting Pink Pathways or joining in. So excellent. And for those of you that are interested in walking in your neighborhood or not quite sure yet, we totally get that. We want everyone to feel comfortable with what you choose to do on race or on Walk Day. So moving on a little bit about what to expect for next steps. First things first, we need you to get registered. So if you are not registered yet, in the chat, you'll see the links to both our More Than Pink Walk in the Low Country as well as our Mountains to Midlands one. And just a reminder for anyone who is part of today's call, who is also registered for the race, you're going to be in a drawing at the end of the kickoff. But to get started, let's say you're already registered or you're in the process right now. So the first thing we want you to do is set a personal fundraising goal. And if you're wondering, well, what would that amount be? I've got a few ideas for you. If you have a personal connection to the mission and there's a number that's meaningful to you, consider making that a part of your goal, whether that's the number of years of survivorship or a number that's important to a loved one that you are walking in honor or memory of. If you're still a little stumped, we recommend 40, something to do with 40, because 40 women in the US will lose their life to breast cancer in an 8-hour workday. So maybe your goal is to get a certain number of $40 donations. Black women are 40% more likely to die of breast cancer than white women. Maybe your goal is to get 40 donations of any amount. 40% of Susan G. Komen's financial assistance requests are for individuals in treatment who are just looking for basic needs like housing and food. And 40% of our helpline callers are underinsured or uninsured and don't have access to the care that they need. So whatever number makes sense to you, we encourage you to set that goal. If it has to do with 40, that's great. If it's another number, that's okay too. But once you've set your goal, kick off your fundraising with a personal donation. Maybe that is $40, or maybe it's a different number that makes sense. After that, we encourage you to set up your Facebook fundraiser. This is a great way to stay connected, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that in a moment. Also, personalizing your fundraising webpage and telling your friends. And lastly, downloading the app. And if you pull your camera on your phone up to the screen right now, you'll be able to actually get linked directly to our app with the QR code there. And the app is a great way for you to be able to track your success. You can send emails from it. You can see who has made donations, and it even has a step tracker on there. So I want to talk a little bit more about Facebook fundraisers, because this is an excellent way to increase your fundraising. And in fact, Facebook fundraisers raise 3 times more than those who don't connect. Did you know that 58% of American adults are on Facebook, and of them, 67% log in on a daily basis? So if that tells you anything, it's that this is a great way to reach a lot of people. So connecting to Facebook fundraisers are super easy. You can do it on the website directly on a computer or using the app that you're downloading right now. You'll just click the button there that says to start a Facebook fundraiser. Once you do that, you'll follow a series of prompts, and that will get you all set up. Now, the important thing once you have it set up is to invite your friends to the fundraiser. That'll put a notification in their little notification section there that they've been invited, and will increase your likelihood of getting donations. I was actually on a call just the other day with one of our participants who linked to Facebook fundraiser. And before we got off the call, she had met her goal because she was sitting and inviting people while we chatted. So this is definitely something that can be super successful for you, and I encourage you to get started. And it looks like a lot of you have already done that, and some of you are getting ready to do that tonight. And for those of you that said you need some help, we will be following up with you to make sure that you are getting the help that you need. So bonus here for you guys is that for those of you that do link to Facebook fundraisers, we're going to have a drawing every Friday live in our Facebook group. So you'll also want to join that. But every Friday on our Facebook group, for anyone who's linked to Facebook fundraiser, you're going to have the chance to win a Dick's Sporting Goods gift certificate. And that starts this Friday and lasts all the way until Walk Day. So you got a number of chances to win. Now, we know that not everyone has Facebook, so we also want to talk about how you can reach other friends and family effectively. And the first step to that is customizing your personal fundraising webpage. You'll do that by logging into your fundraising center once again, and that's where you can really upload what your goal is. You can add photos, tell your personal story, and let people know your why. Why is KOMEN important to you? Why have you chosen to fundraise this year? Plus, you'll be able to see all the fun badges that you earn. And while personalizing your fundraising page is important, what's even more important is sharing that link. So send it in an email to friends and family, add it to your signature for your email, drop it onto your LinkedIn, put it on your Instagram, tweet it out to the world. However you can spread the word about your fundraiser, do it. And that's where you'll start seeing the donations rolling in. Now, we have a fun challenge that we'd like to tell you guys just a little bit about to help you have some motivation to get started sooner than later. This Thursday at 8 a.m. through next Monday at noon, we will be hosting a $100 in 100 hour challenge. And so if you want to be a part of that, all you got to do is drop an email to me, Erika, and my email address is listed there. And once you are part of the challenge, what'll happen is you'll get an email every morning with about a 5-minute long tip. So something that'll take you 5 minutes or less to do. And we think that if you follow each of these tips, you'll easily reach that $100 goal. And we've got some fun reasons for you to do that. Anyone who raises $100 in general is going to earn a walk t-shirt, and that'll be mailed directly to you. So you don't want to miss out on that. But also you will be eligible for one of our early fundraising buttons. That'll also get mailed to you in early September. So a couple little incentives there, but we'd love to have you participate in the 100-hour challenge. Raise that first $100, or some of you have already raised well over $1,000, so maybe it's that next $100. And if that's not enough to get you started, we've got some cool incentives for you coming up. So first and foremost, we love to recognize our top fundraisers, and anyone who raises over $500 is going to get Walk Day recognition on social media. If you raise over $1,000 by September 11th, you're going to get a yard sign that identifies you as the rock star that you are. When it comes to teams that raise over $1,000 will get Walk Day recognition on our social media. And if you raise over $2,500 by September 11th, you're also going to be eligible to get one of those yard signs sent to you. So you'll definitely want to give that a shot. And if those numbers seem big for you, don't worry, we've got incentives at many levels. So you'll have a chance based on how much you raise to also get some of these cool prizes that you'll see on the screen. You can also see all of these on our website at komen.org / and then either Low Country Walk or SCMM Walk. So you'll be able to glance at those again, but your fundraising page will remain open after the race, and you will be eligible for these prizes for any money that you raise up until November 2nd. So that brings us to time for questions. So while we're waiting here, if you have any questions, you can click the Q&A box or you can type them into the chat. And while we wait to see if anybody has any questions, want to just give a shout out to our amazing sponsors for our races, the Center for Natural Breast Health, South Carolina Federal Credit Union, UBO, and M. Lilly. And checking here if we have any questions. Does not look like we do right now, so I think that we will take a moment, and I have a number generator on my computer here. And we'll draw our first prize. So our first prize is a book actually about the history of KOMEN, and that is going to Alicia Long. Congratulations, we'll get that in the mail to you. And it seems here that we actually have a question, so I'll pause before we do our second drawing. Wendy, if you don't mind to come back on camera, Kate has asked if you can share what was your most successful way you fundraised.
Hi, Kate. My most successful way was Facebook and reaching out to all of my friends on Facebook. And that is where most of my fundraising money came from. Last year I did it, and this year I'm doing the same thing.
Awesome. Yeah, we find that a lot of people have huge successes with their Facebook fundraising. So if you have not done that yet, we want to get you linked up immediately. And if you already have linked your Facebook fundraiser, here's your little nudge to go and share it right now and see if you can get some more money in. So thanks, Wendy, for sharing that. All right, we'll see if we have any more questions, but I will have my random number generator here go with our next person. And this person is going to win a KOMEN swag bag. Got some cool KOMEN gear in it. It's a tote bag. I think there's some shoelaces in there, a nice fun breast cancer pin. And our winner is Gail Lanter. So Gail, we'll get that in the mail to you as well. All right, well, I don't see any more questions here, so want to take the time to thank each of you for joining us this evening. Also to thank Wendy for sharing her story with us and inspiring all of us, as well as getting me excited for the parties that'll be happening all around on Walk Day. But if you do have questions after this, you can always reach out to myself or Marissa, who you heard from earlier. And we're happy to chat with you about fundraising, about Walk Day, about Pink Pathways, whatever you are interested in. But thank you for fundraising for KOMEN, and we look forward to seeing you guys reaching all of your goals this season. Have a great night.